What's up guys, welcome to Blake's Garage. So today what we're going to be doing is repairing the front fender on this Vespa right here. This is a 2013 Vespa Lx150. We got backed into coming out of a driveway. This guy didn't see us. We were on the Vespa, just threw it in a reverse real quick, and he ran us over. It kind of just broke this front fender. So we were okay, but the scooter definitely has some damage. So I'm gonna show you guys how to basically remove everything, to get the fork off and to remove all this assembly up here so we can get down here, remove this, and do the repair. All right, step number one, guys, you just want to get a flathead screwdriver. You may want to use something plastic, or you just have to be very, very gentle here. There's a little tab in the side here where you can pull off the Piaggio logo. Right there, that's kind of how it works. It just tilts right off that, and boom, you can just go ahead and take that out. Next thing you're gonna need is a T25 Torx. So let's go ahead and grab this. You can go ahead and put it into this piece and unscrew the screw. After that, what you want to do is go ahead and turn the steering wheel. Then you can pry out on this a little bit. Now there are two tabs located right here at the bottom. You're just gonna want to go ahead and lift up so that you're not breaking those tabs. I just lift it up and I'll show you those. Those are right here. Tab, tab, those go into these spots here, and you can see there's that T25 Torx. Next thing is this Phillips screw. So we're gonna go ahead and take a Phillips screwdriver. We're gonna insert it right here and back that out counterclockwise. Now when doing this, you wanna make sure that you grasp the screw well when you're taking it out, or use something that is magnetic, or else that will fall down into the frame of the scooter, and you don't wanna do that. Pull up the covers on the mirrors. Now the easiest way to do this is these are breakaway mirrors, so you can just go ahead and give them a whack. Just go ahead and kind of give them a twist, and then these things will twist right off of here. And do the same thing on this mirror right here. So we'll try this in the forward position. Yep. So this one goes forward as well, and then we could just screw this off. You can go ahead and remove the screw to the front cover right here. This will be on both sides right next to the handlebars. So you can just go ahead and take these screws out, set those to the side, go ahead and take the one out over here. All right, boom. There's two tabs in the corner here. What you want to do is just kind of pull out this way and pull out that way, kind of just spanning it like this, and that's going to allow you to take this off a little bit easier. So once you get in there, you're going to go ahead and be able to remove these connectors. So just go ahead and use your flathead screwdriver, press down on these and remove the quick connect. So you can just kind of remove that one. That's for the left blinker here. Go ahead and remove this one. This one's for the right blinker. Go ahead and remove the headlight. Well, we'll remove the little running light thing, and then we'll remove the headlight bulb last. Boom. All right, so you can see that. There are all the pieces to the front. There's the light. We can go ahead and set this aside. All right, so looking on the inside right here, this is the kind of just what the inside of the back side of the dash looks like. So this is the speedometer here. We're gonna have to remove the speedometer cable. So we can do that in a second here. The other thing that kind of sucks is you're gonna have to remove the brake line. So this right here is the rear brake, but what you're gonna have to undo is the front brake line here. What sucks about that is you have the reservoir, you know, all that stuff going on there, and that's kind of never fun to do. All right, now we can go ahead and remove the speedometer cable. That is a 14mm wrench that you're gonna use. Loosen that up. Just get it finger loose, and then you should be able to pull that out. Boom, and now you can take that out. There's the drive unit right there. Now what we're gonna do so that we can remove the handlebars and that whole assembly right there is we're gonna go ahead and take all the clips off for the wiring harness. Pull that one off, disconnect right here. So we'll go ahead and remove the brake switch right here. So the white one is on top. Now this probably doesn't matter because it's just a switch, just an open or close switch. So we had a white on top and a white and black on the bottom. Now we'll do the same on the other side for the front brake. Same setup here for the front brake. We'll go ahead and take that off. The white and black is actually on the top of this one, and the white is on the bottom. But again, this is just a switch, so we'll just go ahead and pull that off. Now we have the starter, the kill switch, and the start button over here. That's a switch right behind here. We'll probably have to take this front cover piece off before we can access that. Now I have a couple zip ties, so I'm gonna go ahead and take some, these are actually some crimpers, but they have a nice cutting edge on the top, so you can just use dikes. I'm just gonna cut this zip tie that's zip tying the cable to the handlebars themselves. So there's two of those right here, kind of behind all of this. Barely see it, but it's tying that on there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and snip that one off. Now we have 2 Phillips screws. One is on this side and we have a duplicate on the other side. I'll show you that after. Go ahead and take your Phillips screwdriver. You go ahead and put it right in there and we'll loosen that bolt or that screw up. It's the same situation here. You can see that one right there. We'll go ahead and put our screwdriver up in there. Unscrew that screw. Set those screws to the side. And then there is one more screw in the middle that we'll go to next. All right, so this should be the last screw for taking this off. So we'll go ahead and get our screwdriver in there. So this whole assembly now should kind of come off. We're gonna have 2 more switches right in the front. Uh-oh, drop the screw. Luckily, the screw did not drop in the frame of the bike. Still have that, so watch out for that, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of grab this. Okay, now you can see I have a couple more connectors. Got this one here, this one here. These are like the horns and the blinkers and the high beams and low beams. It's everything that we're taking off right now. You may need a screwdriver for. So we got that out. Let's head over to this side. We can get the last little connectors right here. These ones are not the easiest to take out. I'm kind of just putting my screwdriver in there and kind of prying them out on the side. Be careful with them though. Obviously, still don't want to break it, but man, these ones seem to be a little bit more of a pain in the ass than the others. Got that one out. Now, this top one. So this one is left right here. Go ahead and pop this out real quick. All right, this one comes out in a forward motion. Boom. That's what all the pieces back here look like. Just like that. All right, guys, so I don't know what you think, but I think this looks pretty cool. Kind of chopperific. Kind of like cafe almost style with it kind of chopped down. You can kind of have them all down here. That'd be pretty dope. Anyways, though, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna remove this back cover here. That way I can access. Yeah, I think this will be a little bit more accessible if I take the glove box off so that we can get like a spanner in there or something like that. All right, guys, so now what you want to do is go ahead and grab your T30. Then you can go ahead and loosen up these 2 bolts. What we're doing here is we're trying to loosen up the glove box assembly area. So we're gonna take that out, set that aside. That way, I think it's gonna be able to let us get a little bit better access to this area over here. And now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and open up the glove box. So we'll just kind of put the key in and pop that open. I have some things in here. We got a poncho just in case, and this nice cool little Vans bag because you can throw a lot of crap in there. And then we have a few more T30s in here. So we got that, boom, and this one. So you guys can see that they kind of have a little different look to the head there. So that is what these ones we're using here look like. Now the next one we got is right here. So we'll go ahead and remove that. T30 again. All 3 of these are the same size, so we're gonna go ahead and set those aside. Just gonna go ahead and grab this whole thing, see what we can't do with it. Kind of grabbing it from the bottom, prying out, being careful with it though, because I don't want to hurt anything. Just be careful with it, be gentle, okay? I got that whole piece off. Now so it looks like it works off the key itself. You must put the key in the certain position and boom, it just presses on that. So when it's in a certain position, presses hard enough and opens the glove box. So now what I'm ended up using is a 4142. This is not the proper tool, so I won't recommend using this. This is just what I have. But what I did is I put it on here. You get it lined up in the groove there. And what I did, applied nice firm pressure, took a rubber mallet, bam, 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 loosened it up. Because when I just put torque on it, it was just kind of cutting off the top of it. So I had to give it some good persuasion with the rubber mallet right here. And that seemed to help it out quite a bit. Take this thing, wheelie the hell out of it. All right, take it all the way back. Now it's pretty heavy. This is kind of interesting. Balancing point. Never had it up that high. I had it up a little bit, but never that high. So once you get the scooter with the front wheel off the ground so that will be able to pull out the fork, you can go ahead and remove this bolt right here. This keeps on the actual handlebars themselves, so you can go ahead and push. I need to bang on this a little bit. This is just gonna come right out of here until you can get that bolt out. So we'll take that, we'll put this back on. This is keyed so that it's basically kind of notched in here so that you can't move the handlebars a certain amount past lock. So it's kind of like, I would say it's kind of like a safety feature as well. That way you can't just like twist your bars all the way around, so that's good. So now we'll just kind of wiggle this thing off, right on off of here. Okay, now we can kind of set those down. Those will just kind of hang. We'll just let those hang for a little bit. Then we can go ahead and loosen up the headset assembly. So that's the first ring. So that's that. This is the one that sets the tension here. So, you know, you want to have a good idea of how much tension there is in this. It's firm. It doesn't wiggle at all. It's very firm. And you know, you can go ahead and loosen this up then. Okay, so we're gonna take off this last lock ring, put this back on here, and again, I'm gonna go ahead and probably just give it little taps, just because this is not 100% the exact tool here. So check this side real quick. Oh yeah, that's the one that's better. So bam, 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 bam. Just kind of lightly tap it until you loosen that up. Now, you could already feel the tension difference in the fork. So now it's basically just drooping the whole fork out right now. So you go ahead and loosen that up, and then you can pull the whole fork assembly out. Okay, once we get that all the way loosened, we can go ahead and lift that off the top. You want to remember how this all goes, and then we can pull out the bearing as well. So also real quick, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the front tire. That's gonna give me a little bit more access. I think this is a number 6. Yeah, all these loose, and I'll have a little bit more access. So once you get all the brakes disconnected, you're gonna have to disconnect the brake lines and pull it out. You gotta jack up the bike or the scooter a little bit, that way you can get this fork all the way out. So I had to unbolt the coil over here for the front shock to get this to this access area, and now I'm able to just pull out the fork and set that aside, and then we can go ahead and install the new front fender. Alright, so after you do that, you can go ahead and remove the speedometer cable and the brake line from the bike. Now I grabbed the new front fender, so we want to be careful with this. I'm going to go ahead and just feed it through. Have your friend hold that in place for you while you grab the front fork assembly. Now we're gonna go ahead and shove this back into the scooter. And go ahead and kind of just set this down for a second. What we're gonna do is go ahead and install the bolt into the front fender, get that all mounted up, and then we can go ahead and install this back into the bike. All right guys, so I went ahead and installed the shock back up. You got 2 bolts up there, and then you also have this like little piece that goes around the brake line. Just try to remember how you took that out. It's really hard to show on video, let alone do. So I didn't really show that part. But next what we're gonna do is we hooked up the brake line here. So we hooked up the banjo fitting, and then what we did is we're gonna take this speedo gear right here, and we're gonna go reinstall that back in the hub. You'll see that one side is just a circle kind of area, and the other side is actually keyed, where you put it in like a 4-sided square. That's the drive side, so you want to have that side sticking out. Go ahead and take that, put it back into the hub, make sure that it seats properly. You can get it all the way in there, finger it out. Take the speedo cable. You may have to spin the speedometer from the top in order to get it keyed up correctly, so just kind of get somebody to spin it up there and see if you can't get it correct. Alright, so that looks like it's in now. So we can go ahead and get the screw, put that back in, get that all tightened up, and then we're gonna go ahead and bleed the brakes. So now we are adding brake fluid to the reservoir here. We're just gonna fill it up, and then we're gonna use our to bleed the brakes. So we got that up in there. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go ahead and seat the fork on here. So I have the handlebars on here. You might want to have the handlebars off, but I'm just gonna torque down the bottom lock nut. Now I'm doing that. I'm gonna over tighten it basically. I just want it really tight. That way we can make sure we don't have any play in it, and then we'll back it off just a bit once it gets tightened down. That way we can loosen it up, make sure it's not too tight, and then we can do the lock nuts on there. So grab the washers off here. So it had both these on this side right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab those. So we can go ahead and reapply the nut right here. And I'm not gonna torque this down, just gonna kind of have it tight. What that does is it only allows this much play in the handlebars without moving the fork. And when it does that, it's because it's keyed, like I said, it's kind of just grooved in there, so that you can only go like this far. You're not able to spin in a circle. So in case like some sort of, you know, catastrophic like issue where this loosens up, your handlebars are gonna turn, but they're not gonna just, you know, your wheel's not gonna just flop. The wheel's not just gonna go huh, or anything like that. It's only gonna go like this much or that much in each direction. So it's kind of a safety thing, I would guess, that they put in there. Okay, so then I backed off that bottom nut just a little bit. There's no play in it or anything up and down, but now it just feels a little bit looser, and it's just easier to move. So now what we can do is go ahead and tighten down the top lock nut. You want to go ahead and make sure that you do have that lock washer in between there, because that's going to keep that in the correct direction.
All right.
Using this nut right here, it's 17 millimeter. I adjusted that and tightened it up. Had to, you know, adjust the handlebars a few times, and then I was able to kind of dial in the alignment so that when I'm pointing the bar straight, the wheel is going straight. So I just kind of rode this thing back and forth, just kind of in a straight line, just pointing the handlebars as straight as I could go, and just making sure that it tracked in a straight line. So that's how I'm just kind of setting up the alignment on this. There may be a better way where you measure it out or something like that, but kind of just like a bicycle, I'm just kind of doing it by feel. Looks like I'm probably going to try to reinstall the glove box next, so we'll go ahead and do that. I kind of repositioned the horn in here, so I have to see, because I think it's going to be louder basically the way that it like shoots out or whatnot. So I'm gonna see if it still fits, so I may have to take this back off again.
Looks like the glove box lever, this is kind of the spot that I'm hanging up on at the moment.
Okay, so you just kind of got to pull on it, and then kind of just position it where it needs to go. It looks like my fitment's gonna work just fine. Yeah, looks like I'm looking good. So I'll go ahead and reinstall those bolts. I'll start with the middle one here first. Before you shut that glove box, what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and put the key in the ignition and make sure that this little latch right here, when you press in, goes up. If it doesn't go up and you close this, you're gonna be having fun opening this up. It's doable. You may break something. I don't recommend it, but yeah, you could definitely do it. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. But now I'll just try it. Boom, opens up. Good to go. On to the next step. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the last two T25 Torx that go to the top of the glove box assembly area. So we're just gonna tighten these back down to the body. Make sure you get the gaps looking good. You know that you don't have anything folding over. Go ahead and get both of these tightened up. Boom. All right, it's all looking good. Gaps are looking tight. And now we can go on to the actual dash unit. I'm just gonna go ahead and hook up the speedometer, and oh, I took these switches out. I gotta go grab those. Those are right here. I took those off so that I could run the scooter. So I put the ignition, the starter, and I put the kill switch on. You need the kill switch because the scooter won't run without it, and you need this because the scooter won't start with it. If you wanted to, I guess you could short these two pins together. That would kick the starter motor as well. You could probably jumper this across as well, because these are, I think these are just both, this is a normally closed. When it opens up, it kills power, and this is probably a normally open and then shorts when it's applied to kick the starter motor. All right, so now I'm gonna reinstall these ones because these kind of are out of the way once you put this assembly on here. So you wanna do all these first. Also earlier to start the scooter, I also installed the brake light connection for the front brakes. And now I'm also gonna do the rear brake right now as well. But you need that because you have to apply brake and it has to see the brake light come on in order for the ignition to start. So that's why I put it on there. So now we're just gonna hook all these up. We will put the top ones in first right here. Just hand tighten them at first. So you make sure you don't strip anything out. So we'll just put in those, one on that side, one on this side.
So after that, you can go ahead and put the headlight assembly back on. You have to hook up the connections for the light bulb and for the running light. Also, you need to hook up the left and right blinker, and then you will have 2 screws on the back side that you need to tighten up. That'll finish up that part. There's also that front little screw right there in the middle that you'll use a Phillips screwdriver on. Then you can go ahead and put the front horn cover back on after that. That's just gonna slide down with those 2 tabs right here, and then you can use the T25 Torx to tighten up that bolt. After that, you can go ahead and install the Piaggio logo. Click that back in, and you'll be all done.
All right guys, thanks for watching this video. There's the finished product. That's the end result. Looks like brand new. You wouldn't even know that would have happened to the scooter. So took all that stuff off, put it all back on, adjusted everything. Everything works great. Took it for a test drive. There's no issues. So if you follow this step-by-step guide to getting through it, you should have this put back together in no time. Anyways guys, thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you guys later, and wrench on. We'll see what this thing puts out. It was really, really close to 400 wheel horsepower. I think it was at like 398 or something like that, and 400 foot-pounds of torque. So the boost is gonna go up a little bit, and we'll see what happens when we put a little bit more boosty boosties in it. Let's see.